What's up, guys? Welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me video. I just went shopping at Ulta. Yeah. And I got a new palette. Isn't this little bag cute, by the way? In my state, they just made a law where we're not using plastic bags in retail stores anymore, supermarkets, but other stores as well. So now when you go to Ulta, you get this cute little paper bag. I just think it's sort of cute. So I kind of wanted to get a new palette. I ended up buying a new ColourPop palette, and the one I got was this one called Of Quartz. And they had so many ColourPop palettes to choose from. It was actually really hard to decide. I mean, whatever colorway you want, where you want like champagne colors, rose gold, what have you, they had so many to choose from. I actually had a hard time deciding, but I ended up getting this one. These are the colors. So I thought this was kind of a good one. It's a lot of neutrals, a lot of cool tones, little something for everyone here. If you want to do something kind of safe and basic, there's like a lot of just regular taupes and colors, and I kind of like these little bit more dramatic colors. I like gray, I like dark blues, so I think this one will work well for me. So I'm going to do full face makeup right from the start with this today. So I just washed my face. The first thing I'm going to start with is my vitamin C serum. The one that I use is the Timeless Vitamin C Serum. Now typically I order this in the 20% ferulic acid. This one is the 10%. The 10% is the orange bottle. The 20% is the yellow bottle. I ordered this by accident. Didn't mean to do it. I guess I just clicked on the wrong thing. But I am using this anyway. I'm going to use up the whole bottle and then reorder the 20%. So I'll put this on my face first. The consistency of this is very watery and very liquidy, so it does take some getting used to when you first start using this, because it will literally run right out of your hand if you're not careful. And I'll give that a couple of minutes to like dry and absorb into my skin. And then the moisturizer that I'm putting on is my Neutrogena oil-free moisture. I have different ones that I use. I kind of alternate. This is a nice light one. My agency formula, which is my nighttime serum that I use, has tretinoin in it, and the one that they sent me last month, they bumped up my tretinoin percentage, and I actually just got an email asking me to do my check-in for that one. And they said, did I want to bump up my tretinoin percentage again for next month? And I said yes. So they are increasing that gradually. It's part of like when you do agency, they do try to like step you up over time. But I did notice in the past few days that my skin was flaking quite a bit. And that is part of using tretinoin and chemical exfoliants in general, that your skin will flake off. But I did notice I had a lot of flaking. So I took a couple days off from using that. And I'm using some of my other moisturizers and nighttime serums in place of that, and I'll probably go back to the agency formula tomorrow. Okay, then the first thing I'm going to put on is my Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser, Highlighter, Under Eye Concealer. I love this product. This is the one with the sponge that was popular a couple years ago. I still use this. I love it. So I just kind of like liberally apply this. I like to just put a ton of it on. And I go way out here to like outside my cheekbone where I have like some age spots and sunspots, because I'm trying to cover those up, like that one right there. So when I was thinking about doing this video, I was thinking, what am I going to talk about while I'm doing my makeup? And I went through some of the YouTube channels of other people that I would consider to be my peers. Yeah, and sometimes this is splotchy. I'll blend that all in later. I went through the videos of some people that I would consider to be my peers, like people around my age that also have YouTube channels. And at some point in their video library, they all have a video, kind of something to the effect of like what it's like to be married for 25 years and my advice for staying in a long, happy marriage, and how my husband and I handle our finances, and you know, things like that. So I was like, okay, so I can't do a video like that. I'm divorced, I'm not married, I'm single, I've been single for a long time now. So I thought, this gives me an idea. I'm going to speak about what I know, which is being single in your 40s and 50s and being divorced and facing the dating world in your 40s and beyond, you know, having to be out there and be single and trying to date again. So I have so many funny dating stories and like funny interactions and like weird conversations and weird things that men say. So I thought I'll tell a couple of those funny stories. And the next thing I'm going to put on is my foundation, which I use the Bare Minerals Mineral Foundation. This is their regular matte foundation, SPF 15, and I use the color Fairly Light. And the brush that I'm using to put that on with is this IT Cosmetics brush, which is the number 206 Buffing Mineral Powder. I love Bare Minerals. I've been using it since like 2008. I never want to change foundations. If they ever, God forbid, discontinued this, I don't know what I would do. So yeah, so backstory. I got divorced when I was 40. I got married kind of older, I think, 32. I was 32 when I got married. I was married for 8 years, got divorced when I was 40. By the time the divorce was all said and done and finalized, I was 41, moved out on my own with my 2 kids who were young at the time, 5 and 7. And I pretty much, as soon as the divorce was final, pretty much wanted to start jumping right into dating right away. So I got on all of the dating apps. I tried, over the years, I've tried them all. I tried Tinder, I tried Plenty of Fish, I tried Match.com, Bumble, Zoosk, Hinge, I've done Christian Mingle, I've done Elite Singles, I did the one that was on Shark Tank, Coffee Meets Bagel, like I literally, you name it, I have done it. I think the only one I never tried was eHarmony, and that's only because I never heard anything good about it. I never heard anybody say they liked it. A lot of people said they didn't like it. And it was the one, I don't know if anybody remembers this, it was the one that had the really long application process that made you jump through a bunch of hoops and answer surveys. So I never did that one. Next, I'm going to put my bronzer on, and I use the Nars bronzer, and this is the color Laguna. And the brush I use for this is a brush I got at ULTA specifically for bronzer. So I typically like to put my bronzer like a little lower on my cheekbone, and then I put my blush kind of high on my cheekbone. I'm not super specific about it. I literally just kind of like slop it on. So yeah, so I didn't really go super I wanted to be on dating. I wanted to like date. But I also didn't really prioritize dating because my kids were so young. So you know, they were 5 and 7, and I had that typical arrangement where they went with my ex-husband every other weekend. So the time that I had them when they were at home with me, I really treasured that time, and I wanted to be present for them. So I only would go on dates when they were not home, on the weekends that they were there. I set a lot of rules for myself, you know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of guidelines and rules that I set for myself that may have been setbacks, but I didn't care, and I don't care to this day. I would go, if they were with my ex-husband, I could go on a date the weekends they were away. And then what would happen was the guy would be like, when are you free again? When can I see you again? And I would be like, 2 weeks from now, the next time my kids are away. And that kind of made it difficult to keep the momentum going, you know? So now you're just like texting, and eventually the texting kind of drops off, and you know, that's basically what would happen. And oh, now I'm putting on my blush, and this is an NYX NYX. I don't know how you say that. Do you say it NYX or do you say it NYX? This is an older blush that I've actually had for a long time, but I like it a lot, and it's the Baked blush. And this color is called Statement Red. It's actually like kind of like a bright pink. I like this a lot. It goes on a little on the bright side, but I do blend this out. So, and the blush brush I'm using for this one is the BK Beauty 107, which this, when I got this, it was like it's supposed to be a flat brush, but because I use it for blush so often, it's kind of poofed out quite a bit. It's not so flat. I probably should wash that. I also wanted to show, speaking of washing brushes, this is the brush cleaning gel that I use by Real Techniques, and I bought this at ULTA. I'll put a link to this and everything else in the description. I purchased that at ULTA, but I'm pretty sure they carry it on Amazon as well. Okay, the next step I'm going to do is my finishing powder. I use the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, and the brush that I'm using for this is a SEPHORA finishing powder number 59 brush. So another rule I set for myself when I was early in dating, again, most of these dating stories I have are from when I was between probably the ages of 41 and 46. This is when I did the bulk of my online dating. Yeah, so another rule I would set for myself, this is when I first started dating, was I would give everybody minimum 2 dates. And meaning, if I didn't like them on the first date, I would give them a second date anyway, just to see if I liked them any better, or if anything changed, or if I warmed up to them. A lot of my friends and family were like, you need to give people a chance. So I was trying to be, you know, open-minded, and didn't want to just, you know, I wanted to make sure I was giving people like the proper consideration. But what ended up happening with that was, if I didn't like them on the first date, I usually didn't like them on the second date. And then to say no to the third date, you know, when they're like, can we go out again? At that point, it's basically like you have to break up with the person. So this happened a couple times where I had to do that and have that conversation, which I don't like doing. And then I was like, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. So from then on forward, if I didn't like them on the first date, they didn't get a second date. The next thing I'm going to put on is my eyeshadow primer, which I use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Sometimes I buy the anti-aging one, and sometimes I just buy the plain one. This is the plain one. I think I alternate on that. And I'll just put this on real quick. This is another product that I've been using for a really long time. And if they ever discontinue this, I honestly don't know what I do. I'm sure there's other good primers out there that a lot of people seem to like, but I don't know. I get into things and stick with them. You know, this is why I can't really do like beauty videos too often, because I just don't buy that many different products. I kind of stick with what I like. I'm going to try to do more of these get ready with me's though. And I just kind of tap that in with my finger after I apply it with the wand. So obviously, like, you know, I'm still single. I've been divorced for 11 years now, and I never got remarried. I haven't been with anybody long term. So, but I do have a ton of these funny dating stories and like funny interactions. And oh my God, the things I've seen, the things that men have texted me, their profiles. Sometimes when I early started dating, I thought it would be a good idea to do a blog, and I could like kind of talk about what happened with my dates and the people I met on the blog and make fun of their profiles, kind of, sort of, which feels mean, but a lot of these men's profiles are terrible. And it's actually a need. Like, I think they could benefit from like somebody advising them, or if I could become a consultant in that way or some sorts, where I'm giving them tips and advice on how to improve their profile, because a lot of men's profiles on these online dating sites are awful. They're not representing themselves well. The pictures that they use are like so ridiculous. It's like absurd. The next thing I'm going to do now, while I'm waiting for the primer to kind of dry and set, is I'll do my eyebrows. So I use an NYX, again, I don't know how to say that, Professional Makeup Eyebrow Pencil, micro brow pencil, and the color that I use is taupe. I am fair. My eyebrows, as you can see, are pretty much non-existent. They're light, they're thin. I've done chemo, my eyebrows fell out completely, and I don't know if they ever really grew back or if it's just aging. Either way, I have to use an eyebrow pencil. See, doesn't that look way better? That is just what I needed. If I was pressed for time and I could only put one thing of makeup on, it would be eyebrow pencil. I literally make such a difference. My eyebrows are just like, without it, like not there. So talking about men's profiles and their bad choice of photos leads me into the funny story I was going to tell. So online dating app basics on how it works for those who don't know. If you're married, you might not know this. So the app will serve you up somebody's profile. You can look at their photos, read their bio. If you don't like them, you swipe to the left, they go away, you don't match with them. If you like them, you swipe to the right. Now, depending on the functionality of the different apps, they have to also have swiped right on you and liked you for you to connect. Once you connect and you're matched, then you can usually start talking and chatting within the app. Now, some of these apps make you buy a membership or join, subscription, whatever, upgrade to the premium level to be able to talk. I have done where I paid for the subscription, and I have also done them free. I prefer, obviously, to do them free. I think, like, honestly, it's a complete waste of money to spend on a subscription to any of these apps. As long as you can communicate within the app, and that's allowed with the free version, then once you can chat and then give each other your phone numbers, take it offline and text each other. Any app that requires you to pay just to communicate, that's not worth it to me. So before I continue with the rest of this story, I'm going to start tapping into my new palette. And I think that I'm going to I'm going to stay safe today. I'm going to go pretty basic, and I'm going to go with this color right here. It seems like the most obvious to be my transition color. The name of this color is In the Zone. They're written on the palette, and they're also on the back here as well. For my eyeshadow, most of the eyeshadow brushes that I use are e.l.f. eyeshadow brushes. They used to come in white. They now make them in black, but I buy these. I think they work really well. Obviously, they're pretty inexpensive being from the e.l.f. brand. And then I typically will take my label maker and write on them what I am using them for. Like, for example, this one, I put a label on it and said brown. This one, I put a label on it that says highlight. So I'll start off with this color in the crease part of my lid. Stay open. So this one guy that I matched with, okay, now this is probably like my fault, okay? I see where I went wrong here with this. So, you know, you're being judged basically on your photo, right? I'm looking at other people's photos, judging them. People are judging me on my appearance. But I also do take the time to actually read their bio, what they wrote, and what they said about themselves. So, you know, you get the opportunity to say, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? What are you about in life? And I had read this guy's profile, and I thought he sounded like he was, you know, we had a lot of things in common, a lot of interests in common, and I like what he wrote. Like, sometimes a guy will write something in his paragraph that I really like, this sounds good, or he says something I kind of connect with, or he tells a funny joke, I don't know, whatever. Not too many jokes, but, like, sometimes they're funny jokes. Now, the main problem with this one was he only had 2 profile photos. Now, I recommend 2 profile photos is not enough. You're going to have at least like 4 to 6 minimum. 6 is really, like, to me, like the perfect amount. 10 or 12 is too many. 2 is not enough. And the photos should be of you. They should not be of a landscape. They should not be of your motorcycle. They should not be of an ocean or a mountain vista. They should not be of your pet alone. You with your pet, great. Just a picture of your pet, no. So I'm going to do my lid now, and for the lid color, I'm going to use this one, which the color is Transform. One time I saw a guy who had for his profile photo a picture of him skiing, and I'm not even kidding you. It was him on a ski slope taken from about 1/4 mile away. So he was like this little speck in the background of the photo, wearing full ski gear, hat, goggles, everything. Could not see at all what this guy looked like. So, like, what are you doing with that kind of photo? Like, how am I supposed to see you and what you look like? I mean, I'm not going to choose somebody that I don't know what they look like at all. I'm not saying I'm completely shallow, picking on looks only, but you have to know what the person looks like. You have to know what they look like. So this one, his 2 photos, he only had 2, which is not a good idea in general, and in both of them he was wearing sunglasses, okay? So like I said, here's where I went wrong. Was I liked what he said so much, and I thought we had so many things like in common that I thought we would be a good match. But I guess I didn't really like think ahead to how I would find out what he looked like. So I click, yeah, I swipe right, I click yes on him, he clicks yes on me. Now we are connected and we can start talking. And we're having like a good conversation. Like, as far as texting goes, it seemed like we were, we were getting along. Sometimes you can tell. Okay, and then for highlight, I'm going to use this one, which seems like the obvious highlight color. Right here, Mind Games. So now I find myself in this dilemma where I'm like, I need to know what this guy looks like, because he was kind of getting to be like, hey, maybe we can meet up sometime. Maybe we can get coffee or something. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know what you look like. So I don't know if I'm going to agree to this meetup coffee date with a guy that I don't even know. Oh, wow. This is shimmery. That's very shimmery. Can you see that? Wow. But I don't know a tactful or appropriate way to ask him, hey, can I see another photo of you? So I was kind of like, oh, what do I do now? Like, look at what I boxed myself into a corner here. I've matched with this guy now. We've been chatting and texting each other. And I'm not going to agree to a date unless I know what he looks like. I mean, but how do I at this point ask him, hey, can I see other photos of you? I'm totally losing my daylight here, by the way. The sun keeps going in and out. Now, depending on your conversation with the guy, you can pick up on some things about him and then look him up on like Facebook or Instagram, and that's a way you can find other pictures of him that way. But if you don't have that information, then you have no way to look them up and you can't find out anything about them. Now, what I'm saying is not stalking and it's not crossing the line. It's smart. You should always do as much background research as you can on these people that you match with and connect with and that you're going to actually go out and meet. As soon as I get a guy's phone number or email address, I put it into Google and I look up as much information about him as I can. Now, this, in my opinion, is a necessary cross-check and just a smart way of going about online dating. There's a lot of scams out there. Some people are lying about who they are, so it's a good idea to always kind of do as much background investigation as you possibly can. So last thing I'm going to do is probably add in a little bit of a deep crease color, and I think for this one, I don't think I'm going to be too dramatic with this. These colors are nice. I think they're going to be a little bit too dark. I'm going to play it safe here, being this palette is new to me. So I think I'm going to do this one here, maybe. I think I'll go with this one down here, Granite Access. Should I do that one? I think I will. Just a slight dab, because this palette is pretty pigmented. Also, not sure I mentioned this, is my first time using ColourPop. So for that particular guy, you know, we ended up just kind of like trailing off and the conversation died out, and I never ended up meeting up with him, and I never ended up asking him for more photos. I just, like I said, I couldn't come up with like a tactful way to do that. And lesson learned, probably should not have even like clicked yes on him, but I don't know. I'll leave it at that for today. I have a ton more funny stories and wacky antics, as I call it. Right, this is like, I'm going to put my mascara on and see what I think about how this all blended together. The mascara that I'm using right now is Lash Paradise. I always change my mascaras. I'm not like beholden to any one particular. I just, every time I run out, I buy a new brand, whatever I think people are saying is good. I'm always open to trying new ones. The other thing is my eyes are not symmetrical, so I can't just do exactly the same thing in this eye and then do exactly the same thing in that eye, because as you can see, they are not symmetrical. It's just the way my eyes are. They're small eyes, they're hooded eyes, and in addition to that, my brow bones are not symmetrical on either side. So as you can see, whatever I do on this eye, I cannot completely replicate on that eye. I have to do this eye a little bit slightly different to make up for the fact that it's not symmetrical. So does this look symmetrical? I feel like this one's missing a little something. Just gonna go back in there. Yeah, that's, could be the light. I think that's good. I think it came out good. So I'm not gonna do eyeliner. I used to use eyeliner a lot years ago. My eyelids are older now. I don't always use eyeliner, and I don't really think I need it. One of the last steps that I like to do is I have this product from Bare Minerals. This is so old. It has the old logo on it. And this is called Well Rested. And I just like to put a little bit of this in my under eye just to brush off any fallout or smudging that may have happened. And I just kind of do a little under here. And you can really see that brow highlight, huh? Just to make sure that looks good. And then for my lip color, I'm going to use my Neutrogena Moisture Smooth Color Stick. I love these. And this is in the color Plum Perfect. I like these so much. I ended up buying them in 2 different colors. I got this plum one and like a more pinky one. That looks good. Yeah, I like this. I did kind of go safe on this one. I do think it came out nice, but this palette seems like it's going to have a lot of different combinations of looks that I'm going to be able to do, whether I want to keep it really like light or if I want to go dramatic. I think there's a lot of different types of looks I can do with this. I'm going to have fun like mixing and matching some of these shades. And like I said, this is my first time using ColourPop, so I'll be interested to see as the hours go by how this holds up over time and if I like it. So thanks for following along as I did try out this new palette and did my makeup and listening to my chitter chatter. I have a lot more funny stories where those came from, so let me know if you want to hear any more about the ins and outs and intricacies of dating in your 40s and beyond. If you like these videos, please give it a like, and if you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you add me to your subscription list. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!